I've got a few minutes for questions. Yes?
My daddy was a minister, and when I was a kid, I got all kinds of stories about the marvelous things that all sorts of mysteries that showed that there probably was a God, and all sorts of difficult things that God would solve. And I was very impressed by that until I started noticing how the science thing worked in high school. And I've come to believe that the science way is better. And its key thing is to make a prediction that's risky, that is something that actually could be tested and could show that it wasn't so for some idea. I don't see that you're. There seem to be some things in here that would be testable, but it reminds me too much of that religion stuff.
Okay, I understand, and I've come from that position too. You know, I have the scientific side, but also I have this side that, you know, is open to other possibilities. Now you'll find that scientists, the really good scientists, are also open to other possibilities. They just test them. That's where ideas come from. Right, and I agree 100% with you that the scientific method needs to be used in this, and it is being used. A lot of these hypotheses, people are saying, well, hey, I wonder if we can change the effect of a random number generator. And they're doing experiment after experiment after experiment. And the statistics are coming out saying, well, it's not 100%, but it's really good. I mean, the chances of this not being real are, you know, 1 in a trillion or something like that. They have just incredible statistics. And that can be done with all these things. I love the scientific method, and I thank you for bringing that up. I think we really should do all this scientific. Science applies to a method and not the content. So I'm proposing some different content that we can apply science and technology and engineering to.
Do on some of these things where you believe there is an interaction with the material energetic world?
Well, I think the Boundary Institute people and the Pear Lab people are already doing that, and Bill Tiller is already doing that. And I mean, a lot of the experiments are already being done. Homeopathy, many double-blind studies have been done on that, and they all show that, yeah, that works too. Anyone else? Oh, back there, yeah. Hi.
I mean, it seems to me that people have been accessing this thing for a long time. You look at feng shui, the morphogenetic fields, the ancient art of divining. Can you just address how your approach kind of is more than just a repackaging of that?
The question is, people have been doing this kind of thing for a really long time, and is there anything I'm doing here that's new other than just repackaging it? That is a good question. I think one of the main things I'm doing here actually is repackaging it so that it's something that people can work with. It's more technology oriented. It's more, in other words, the idea of the bid, it's like virtual information. Okay, that's different than using spirit or God or soul. So in a way, I think I'm doing that. I'm not denying any of those words. I think those are real realities in people's lives, and they may be real realities in reality. But that if there is this complex universe, that you know, there's this small area that the universe will let us use as sort of a technology, the same way we get to use quantum mechanics or quantum physics to make LEDs work. So, thank you. Yes?
Yeah, if it's possible to affect random number generators. I think those people that do that should, when they win the lottery 10 times in a row, they will get some attention.
Right, that's true. If you talk with Dean Radin at the Boundary Institute, I think he has stories of people who've done that and then they've retired quietly. Also, the question is, if people won the lottery again and again by influencing the randomness, this might get around. Well, in a lottery, of course, a lot of people are trying to influence it. You know, there are lots of people wishing me, and so maybe they cancel each other out. But in terms of guessing, foreseeing what that would be. I think there have been some anecdotes of that happening. Now, it's well known that in Las Vegas, if you turn out to be too lucky, they get you out of the game very quickly. They see you out of the casino. So I don't know. That's going to be an interesting thing to see. Dave.
Start doing, trying to apply science to something like this and keeping your mind open. You say, well, at what point will I stop investigating because it doesn't seem to be panning out, or the statistics are not holding as strong as I would think. At some point you should give up, or you should not. I don't know who makes the judgment call, but at some point you want to ask yourself, am I biased on this or not? And then on top of that, you probably have to wonder if you're even running the experiment properly. So there's a balancing game, and you could be giving up right at the point where you just need to tweak your experiment. But on the other point, you might be leading yourself into believing that something is there when it really isn't. So the science, you don't know if you're playing correct science at all.
That's always the problem. The question is, how do you know when you're going to stop, and if it's good science or if you're just fooling yourself, essentially. And every scientist has to deal with that, whether they're investigating this stuff or they're looking at the behavior of monkeys. Ultimately, I think you need to design your experiment in advance and then stick with that design. And I think these people are doing that. And certainly they're in all, if you go to Dean Radin's lecture, he's looking at the parapsychology results of these random number things. And for him, the results just get more and more significant the more data he gets. So why stop? He's, it's actually pretty amazing. Yes?
What's stopping us from discovering more of this, and what do you think are the biggest roadblocks?